Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Durham police are looking for a 9-year-old boy this morning, coming up where he was last seen.
And this morning, radar is quiet as we start off our Friday morning, but we do have more rain on the way. We're going to talk about our flood watch that goes through this evening coming up.
And it's a live look in Paris, where the opening ceremony for the 2024 Olympic Games will get underway in just a few hours. It is an exciting day. We've been counting it down from, 1,000 days?
It feels like it. I remember when it was 100 days,
Yes,
right? And we'd
yes.
slowly watch it count down. Today's the day.
Now it is 4:30 on your Friday, and here we go. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Great to have you with us on this Friday. We are feeling the Friday vibes with the Olympics. First, we get to meteorologist Anthony Baglione with more rain on the way. And Anthony, the rain has worn out its welcome.
Yeah, certainly. We got a gold medal forecast, though, for the weekend, guys. The rain's going to be out of here. We start to feel a little bit better. But another day for us where at least we have some of our counties included in this flood watch that's outlined. Good morning to all of you, though. The good thing is we've made it to our Friday, almost the weekend, which we'll talk about that forecast here in a bit. We could see an additional 2 inches of rainfall. We're not going to see 12 inches of rainfall, but 1 to 2 inches here in those outlined areas as we go through the rest of today. We've already seen some decent rainfall totals in those areas. That's why we have that flood watch outline. Pretty quiet right now. There's a little bit of moisture back to our south and east, but I don't anticipate big issues here as you're headed out the door this morning. There are some areas, though, where we're seeing some low-lying cloud cover. That may reduce visibilities just a bit. 8 miles there in Raleigh, 10 in Goldsboro. We do, though, like I said, have more rain chances on the way for us today. So starting off quiet right now, there's just some scattered coverage as we go through the rest of our Friday into this evening. Our weekend, though, guys, looking a whole lot better. We will talk about if we have many more areas of dry weather coming up here in just a few minutes.
This morning, an Amber Alert that you likely heard on your phone late last night does remain active this morning. Police in Durham are working to bring a missing 9-year-old boy home safe. Nick Perlin joins us live from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker in South Benjamin Street there in Durham. And Nick, police say the child has been missing now for nearly 12 hours.
Yeah, several people woke up this morning getting that notification on their phones this morning, and Durham police are still looking for that 9-year-old boy. Now, I want you to take a look at your screens because I want to show you who we're talking about right here. This is 9-year-old Gian King Perrier. He's 4'10" and weighs about 100 pounds, and he was last seen on South Benjamin Street in Durham. He is believed to be with his biological mother, 33-year-old Mariah King. Now, if you have any information, you should call 911 and reach out to Durham Police, as they're still looking for him early this morning. We'll keep you up to date if Durham Police finds him. Reporting live in Durham, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
New this morning, a person is dead after being hit by a car in Fayetteville. The crash happened at Cliffdale Road and Bunce Road around 9:50 last night. Police say the person who was hit was crossing the road outside of a crosswalk. We're working to learn the name of the person who was hit and whether any charges will be filed. This week's unsettled weather pattern has left communities saturated with water. Workers at the U-Haul on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh worked yesterday to get trailers to higher ground. They say the low-lying area where the rental facility is located is prone to flooding. On Trailwood Drive near Avent Ferry Road, utility crews spent the evening fixing a power line after a tree fell on top of it. Crews in Wake Forest worked to clear a tree that fell on Durham Road in Wake Forest during the evening commute.
The opening ceremony of the 2024 Paris Olympics is just a few hours away, and our live coverage of the ceremony gets started at noon right here on WRAL. Ceremony itself begins at 1:30. For the first time in the history of the Summer Olympic Games, the opening ceremony will not take place inside a stadium. The Parade of Nations will happen along the River Seine, right through the heart of Paris. More than 10,000 athletes from more than 200 countries will be part of the ceremony. It is sure to be a sight to behold. And WRAL is your home for the Summer Olympics action. Our live coverage runs today through August 11th. You can look for live reports from Paris throughout the competition at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 11 p.m. Well, this car flipped over in Garner yesterday after a crash at the corner of Fayetteville Road and Garner Station Boulevard. Garner police say the crash involved two drivers around 6:40 in the evening. The accident happened when one of the cars failed to stop at the red light. Fortunately, both drivers only had minor injuries and refused ambulance rides. A second crash in Wake County overturned a car around 5:30 yesterday evening. The green Ford Bronco did not yield while pulling out onto Pulleytown Road from Mitchell Mill Road, and that caused them to be hit by another car and turn on its side. Only minor injuries in that crash as well.
Today, former President Trump will meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. He's expected to arrive in Florida this morning around 11. Authorities say they are ready. Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies plan to shut down the road from the airport to the estate. The sheriff warns protesters should keep their distance and not attempt to block any roads. This will be the first time that Trump and Netanyahu have met since Trump was president. This meeting comes less than 24 hours after Netanyahu met with both President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in Washington, D.C. During her first one-on-one meeting with the Israeli Prime Minister, Harris pushed him to accept a ceasefire deal. She also vowed to, quote, not be silent about the suffering in Gaza.
A Raleigh police officer is on administrative leave, accused of making a social media post calling Juneteenth a made-up holiday. The police department is investigating after the post spread online. RPD senior officer D.C. Twitty is accused of making the post. His name is familiar to activist Kerwin Pittman. Now, he says Twitty was involved in a wrongful no-knock raid against two families in 2020. Pittman helped those families sue RPD. He's also the officer who shot and killed Akil Denkins in 2016. That was later ruled to be in self-defense, and no criminal charges were filed. Still, Pittman says RPD needs to take notice.
I feel like the department doesn't listen. This is somebody we've kind of been ringing the bell on for years.
In a statement, RPD Chief Estella Patterson said Juneteenth is a federal and City of Raleigh holiday. The Raleigh Police Department celebrates the Juneteenth holiday and what it stands for.
Actress Jennifer Aniston is criticizing J.D. Vance for his past comments about women without children. Her response to his remarks about childless cat ladies and his stance on reproductive rights.
And a massive park that is burning in California. It is spreading rapidly. The park fire there, how police found the man that they say is responsible for starting the whole thing.
And here's a live look at Apex, the peak of good living. We have a chance for scattered storms tonight, but it is going to dry out for the weekend and feel a lot better. Meteorologist Anthony Baglione has that in the forecast for us next.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Anthony Baglione in for Elizabeth here on this Friday morning, where we're starting off with temperatures mainly in the 70s out there. Our dew points, though, the number that we do not want to be in the 70s, mainly very comparable there to the actual air temperature. What that's saying is it feels humid. Anytime you see that dew point temperature above about 50 is when it starts to feel muggy. We're going to stay squarely kind of at the top of the charts for us today. It gets a little bit better into the weekend. It's not going to feel like fall refreshing across the area, but compared to where we've been, it will be noticeable. Then it goes right back up there into Tuesday of next week. So if you're heading out this weekend, maybe want to fire up the grill, looking pretty good. 87 on Saturday, 88 on Sunday. A beautiful stretch of days for us with lower humidity, just a slight chance of a shower tomorrow morning.
A man has been arrested in connection to the massive park fire burning in California. 42-year-old Ronnie Stout II is accused of pushing a burning car into a ravine, sparking that wildfire just north of Sacramento. As of this morning, CAL FIRE officials say the fire has spread to more than 125,000 acres and is less than 5% contained. People in the area have been told to evacuate. Wildfires have ignited throughout California and the West, and extreme heat is not helping.
FBI investigators say they are still examining evidence from the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. The FBI's shooting reconstruction team continues to examine bullet fragments and other evidence from the shooting. According to a U.S. official, the agency wants to interview Trump for a victim statement. However, questions still remain on whether Trump was hit by a bullet or shrapnel.
During his first appearance as a surrogate for Vice President Kamala Harris, Governor Roy Cooper didn't have much to say about speculation that he is one of her top choices for vice president. Governor Cooper was asked directly about the process, and he didn't deny he has been asked to supply materials for the vetting process, but he didn't say any more than that.
There are a lot of people that she can choose. She's going to make the right choice. I just want her to choose the person that gives her the best chance to win. Yeah.
Governor Cooper received the unanimous recommendation of North Carolina delegation to the Democratic National Convention next month. Actress Jennifer Aniston is criticizing former President Trump's running mate. J.D. Vance appeared on Tucker Carlson's former Fox News show in 2021, and on it he criticized what he called childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives. Aniston shared a screenshot of it on social media, and the actress, who has been publicly outspoken about her fertility journey, wrote about Vance's far-right stance on reproductive rights, saying, quote, "Mr. Vance, I pray that your daughter is fortunate enough to bear children of her own one day." Aniston also appeared to endorse Kamala Harris, reposting a 2018 video of Harris pushing then Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh on abortion rights.
The election cycle has had a major shakeup in the past few weeks, and parties are trying to build momentum across all voting blocks. Much like other blocks of voters, young voters care about everything from affordability to abortion. It gets interesting when looking at which candidate they think has the answer for those issues. WRAL spoke with two voters on opposite ends of the political spectrum.
And I think it's important for young people to see someone that's represented their issues at the national level so voraciously, like abortion rights, like LGBTQ rights.
They see Trump and they realize, this man's strong. This man just took a bullet, and here he is pumping his fist. And so voters see that, especially my age, and they see that, and I think they resonate with that.
To hear more from those two young political leaders, go to WRAL.com.
And the Murdoch family is locked in what is a secret court battle over succession and control of the family media empire. That is according to a report in the New York Times. Rupert Murdoch has led Fox News Corporation for years. The empire is worth a reported $19.5 billion. The legal battle over whether it'll happen to the assets, what will happen to the assets after Murdoch's death. And Murdoch's four oldest children share equal votes in the family trust. The case is expected to go to court in September.
Health officials in North Carolina are warning about tuberculosis after hundreds of people may have been exposed. The public health department in Union County near Charlotte is investigating. It says a high school student tested positive for TB. Officials say that student may have been in contact with at least 270 people who all need to be tested. The most recent state data says 163 people contracted TB in North Carolina in 2022.
A scam regarding your toll bill that we first warned you about 3 months ago is now evolving. The text like this was sent to WRAL's 5 on Your Side producer on Wednesday, and it says, to avoid late fees on a toll bill, click a link and pay your balance. Looks almost identical to the scam texts 5 on Your Side told you about in April, and the website link is now updated to look more like the real NC Quick Pass link. The Turnpike Authority says they'll never ask for money by text message.
Virginia Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton is now the first lawmaker to use an artificial intelligence generated model of her voice to speak for her on the House floor. Wexton lost her ability to speak clearly due to a neurological disorder called progressive supranuclear palsy. She told lawmakers it's been a big adjustment, but it's just a fraction of what so many Americans live with each day.
Millions of Americans face challenges that make it harder to move, speak, act, or otherwise live their day-to-day lives. But that disability does not define who they are. I certainly have not allowed my new challenges to define me.
Wexton announced last year that she won't seek re-election, citing her health concerns, which she expects will worsen. In addition to her voice, her disorder also robbed her of full mobility, forcing her to rely on a walker. She says when she first heard the AI rendition of her voice, it was like music to her ears. Wow.
4:47 is the time. That's pretty strong right there. And we have a Friday here without a WRAL weather alert day. Anthony Baglione in the WRAL Severe Weather Center right now. We've been on kind of auto alert day all week.
Yeah, it's been a crazy weather pattern for us. And thankfully today, we're still going to be tracking some rain across the area. But no major concerns for you here as you're planning your Friday, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. We get us outside, though, this morning. There's a live look. Our Pinehurst camera, you can see some of that cloud cover really low, and that may obstruct some visibility visibilities for you if you're headed out early. I think most of us, though, are going to be just okay here for the morning commute. But you see there, South Hill, Southern Pines, those sensors are down to about 3/4 of a mile, the ideal being 10. So we're seeing some reduced problems, if you will, with those visibilities. Here's a look at our temperatures in the blue box on the left, the dew point in the right. You can see definitely the temperatures low to mid 70s. Dew points are also in the 70s. What that translates to is it is still a very humid morning for us out there. Rain chance wise, we see a lot of that coverage down to our southeast right now. There's not much to speak of currently that would affect that morning commute. We're going to keep all of that down there for the next couple of hours. But as we go through our day, we're going to watch another chance, a couple chances for us, a scattered storm starting to bubble up. We go through Futurecast. There's a look. I'll pause this here at lunchtime. Very limited coverage, but if you get under it, some of these cells in our southeastern counties, it doesn't take much. I was driving out yesterday afternoon in some of these, and they were very small and compact, but underneath of them, it was torrential driving, torrential rain coming down. So just keep that in mind. There's a look at 3 o'clock. Again, our southern areas have the best shot at seeing that. Scattered storms, though, are possible for all of us today. No severe risk. We just have a flood watch for those southeastern areas until 7 o'clock tonight. An additional 1 to 2 inches of rainfall is possible. We've seen several across the area the past couple of days, and a couple more could be possible. Let's check out the weekend, though. So this is some good news for us, right? If you don't love the rain and the rainy pattern we have had, only a 20% chance tomorrow morning of seeing just a passing shower. 87, the rest of the day looks pretty dry. We go to 88 on Sunday. Humidity levels, though, will be coming down through the weekend. It is not going to be super refreshing, but compared to where we've been, we're taking it out of that tropical zone for us, and I think we'll feel a whole lot better before going right back up as we head into next week. 83 for us today, 87 tomorrow. We go to 88 on Sunday. So looking great for the weekend, guys. But then we get into next week. We reintroduce those rain chances, as is typical for North Carolina, back to 93 on Thursday.
Anthony, thanks. A popular LGBTQ plus dating app is changing some privacy protections within the Olympic Village. How Grindr is using the changes as a way to protect athletes competing in the Olympics.
Also, those 2 astronauts who were supposed to be in space for just a week, they have been there now for over 2 months. The issues being worked on to help get them back to Earth.
More than 80,000 electric vehicles are registered in North Carolina. They're great for a lot of things, but a big concern is how hard it can be to put out an EV that's on fire. So these big blankets could be a solution. WRAL's Monica Casey heard from the fire department that has them on hand just in case.
The Southern Pines Fire Department is looking ahead at how to deal with EV fires. 2 new fire blankets at $1,600 each could be the answer. These blankets can cover cars of many sizes. The fire-resistant material slows the spread, allowing first responders to get the burning vehicle away from other cars or buildings.
We've had some fires that were lithium-ion battery related for telephones. We actually had a pretty good apartment fire that was caused by a child's scooter that was electrical.
Southern Pines Fire Chief Mike Cameron tells me they haven't had an EV fire yet, but they want to be prepared. A Tesla engulfed in flames at RDU last fall blocked travelers from getting on their planes.
There's no more electric vehicle fires than there are regular gas vehicle fires. However, the problem is when you have an electric vehicle fire, it's more challenging for the fire department to put out.
Cameron tells me the difficulty stems from multiple batteries in a battery box that's difficult to get to.
When you get one cell going, you could have what's called thermal runaway, and it goes from cell to cell to cell, and it's very, very difficult to get water or other extinguishing agents on that.
There is also a longer-term use for the blankets, which could stay wrapped around the cars for weeks later.
There is some proven data out there that says these batteries, once they've been damaged in a wreck or damaged by fire, they could actually reignite up to 30 days later.
In Southern Pines, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Video game voice actors and performers plan to go on strike today. And yesterday, Hollywood actors announced a strike over the interactive media agreement that covers video game performers. The union said the strike is over failed labor contracts, AI concerns, and pay. The strike comes after months of negotiations with major video game companies. A spokesperson for the Video Game Producers Party said their offer featured AI protections.
Grindr has rolled out a number of privacy protections within the Olympic Village in Paris to protect LGBTQ plus athletes using the popular dating app. Users noticed this week that they can't use the Explore feature on the app at the Olympic Village in Paris, which allows people to change their location and look at profiles. Grindr says some athletes may not be out, or they may come from a country with strict LGBTQ plus laws. The company did the same thing during the 2022 Winter Olympics in Beijing. At least 67 countries have national laws criminalizing same-sex relations, according to Human Rights Watch.
Boy, it's quite the end of an era for the piano man. Billy Joel performed his final show at New York City's Madison Square Garden last night. 75-year-old New York City native is known for hits like Uptown Girl and Only the Good Die Young and, about a million others. Last night's concert marked the 150th show at the venue and wrapped up Joel's decade of residency at the arena. Jimmy Fallon joined the singer on stage to present him with a big banner they'll take to the rafters to mark his historic run.
What a run for Billy Joel. My favorite is The Longest Time. That's also a good one. What was supposed to be a one-week visit to the International Space Station for astronauts on the Boeing Starliner has turned into 50 days, and there's no end in sight. NASA says there is still no return date set for the two astronauts who blasted off June 5th. Boeing and NASA are working here on Earth to figure out issues with the spacecraft's malfunction propulsion system. NASA says the earliest the return could happen would be next month. Officials say the Starliner would be safe to return to Earth if there is an emergency. Nearly 11 hours after disappearing, the search for a 9-year-old boy at the center of an Amber Alert continues right now in Durham and beyond, who police think he may be with.
I'll give you a live look in Paris right now, where vandalism on trains is causing massive disruptions to traffic on the day the Olympics finally get underway officially. How long rail operators say people's travel plans could be affected by this. Former President Donald Trump is speaking up about whether he will debate Vice President Kamala Harris if she secures the Democratic nomination. His remarks on Truth Social coming up at 5.